Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into something absolutely wild. We're looking at a phenomenon where ordinary people are building massive, life-changing wealth. But they aren't doing it with brilliant tech startups or viral apps. Instead, they're running these incredibly boring businesses that literally make money while they sleep. We're going to break down 20 businesses that generate cash practically on autopilot, and I promise you, the pattern we found here is going to completely change how you view entrepreneurship.
Look, for decades, we've all been sold this myth, right? The myth of the genius idea, the glamorous garage startup that's going to change the world. But let's be real. That path usually means desperately chasing VC funding, battling thousands of equally ambitious competitors, and facing a brutal, staggering failure rate. Now contrast that with the boring business. We're talking laundromats, commercial cleaning, pest control. They offer proven cash flow, surprisingly low competition, and highly predictable success. You don't actually need to be a visionary to be wealthy. You really just need quiet, reliable profitability.
Which brings us to our first big takeaway, the genius idea myth. Seriously, you do not need to invent the next big app to get rich. It's just not true. The data consistently shows that almost nobody gets wealthy with a brilliant new idea. Instead, they get rich by executing an old, boring idea better than everyone else. So we're using this list of 20 totally unglamorous businesses basically as a Trojan horse today to reveal the hidden principles of how real wealth is actually created. So let's look at where this actually plays out, starting with dirty jobs and empty spaces. The earning potential hidden in physical discomfort is just wild. Think about commercial window cleaning. Those operators dangling from high-rises, they're pulling in between $400 and $1,000 a day, and that is often on automatic, recurring annual contracts. Or pressure washing, where a small, efficient crew can generate up to $40,000 a month. You see, the unattractiveness of these jobs is actually a massive barrier to entry. Because it looks like hard work and definitely not like a sexy tech startup, you get way less competition. And that secures those automatic, recurring contracts for the people willing to step up. And just to prove how incredibly lucrative this discomfort is, grab a load of this number, $34.86 billion. According to Grandview Research, that is the projected 2030 market value of the portable restroom rental industry. I mean, it is arguably the least glamorous business imaginable, right? Yet literally every single construction site needs one. You're renting out a product nobody actually wants to own. The general rule here, the uglier the product, the wider the profit margins left open for you. Now, if getting dirty isn't your thing, this builds perfectly into our next concept, monetizing empty space. Vending machines, ATM networks, parking lots, self-storage. Think about it. With a single, well-placed ATM, you can generate up to $3,000 a month in net profit. There's no selling involved, there's no customer service, you are simply capturing value 24/7 just by placing a machine in a previously empty corner of a gym or an office hallway. And speaking of empty space, the US self-storage market is currently sitting at a staggering valuation of $45 billion. But here is the real kicker, the part that's truly fascinating. The fastest growing segment of customers renting these units, it isn't families moving out of their homes. It's e-commerce sellers. Small businesses are utilizing self-storage units as makeshift, completely silent infrastructure, so they can store their inventory without paying premium commercial rent prices. It's a brilliant example of solving an invisible problem. All right, moving on to the next big pattern we found, specialization or niching down to win. When you really dig into these businesses, this theme of extreme focus emerges. Like an electrician who decides to only install smart home tech and EV chargers can suddenly command over $250 an hour. A plumber who focuses exclusively on commercial kitchen emergencies, they can build a seven-figure empire simply because restaurants literally cannot afford to wait for a fix. Even with things like bookkeeping or small B2B management software, you aren't trying to build a massive global network. You're just taking a highly specific, highly annoying problem off a particular business owner's plate. Because here's the thing. Specialization means you completely stop competing on price. You become totally irreplaceable. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? You just need to point it at a niche that nobody else is serving. Take light manufacturing, for example. Huge factories are not going to stop their massive production lines to make a small custom plastic screw for one specific client. But if you become the specialized manufacturer of that one crucial piece, you've got a guaranteed recurring buyer. Now, let's completely flip the script on how we think about starting out. Let's talk about acquiring instead of building. Most of us just assume the only way to be a business owner is to start from zero. But buying an established service franchise, which, by the way, pulls in an average of $1.67 million in revenue, or acquiring an existing functioning laundromat completely changes the game. When you buy a franchise or an existing business, you're eliminating the single biggest risk of entrepreneurship. You're purchasing an already proven instruction manual, existing cash flow, and a built-in customer base right from day one. There's a great quote from Walker Deipel in his book Buy Then Build, where he points out that acquiring proven cash flow is a faster, far less risky path to financial freedom than starting from zero. Businesses with recurring revenue often sell for 3 to 5 times their annual income. So buying money that is already flowing, instead of betting everything that it might flow one day, completely rewrites the entire risk equation of entrepreneurship. Which leads us perfectly into the grand finale, the ultimate secret that ties all of this together. So after looking at all 20 of these business models, from pest control to window cleaning to bookkeeping, what actually is the ultimate boring business? Well, surprisingly enough, it isn't a single industry at all. It's a core principle, recurring revenue. This is the absolute game changer. The secret connecting every single successful boring business on our list is whether the customer pays you just once or if they pay you automatically every single month. Look at it this way. If you sell a popsicle, you earn once. But if you rent out the popsicle cart every month, you earn consistently without ever having to sell another popsicle. That invisible structure where a client pays, leaves, and automatically comes back to pay again next month, that is the ultimate wealth builder. Check out this stat. Approximately 95% of laundromats survive past their first 5 years of operation. 95%! Compare that to the survival rate of your average trendy new restaurant or some flashy tech app. It survives because it has built-in recurring revenue based on an undeniable need. People are always going to need to wash their clothes. It literally doesn't matter what the economy is doing, and it doesn't matter what the latest tech trend is. It is just pure, boring consistency. The financial writer Morgan Housel hit the nail on the head when he said, people underestimate the power of simple things that repeat consistently because they chase excitement instead of consistency. Brilliant but inconsistent ideas fail every single day in the real world, but boring, repetitive systems, those are the quiet engines that are building everyday millionaires right in plain sight. Let's put names to this and see how it plays out in reality. Take Daniel and Alex, both 34. Daniel spent years searching for this totally unique app idea, burning through his savings, trying to compete against thousands of other super ambitious people. And today, he's still employed, still searching for that big break. Then there's Alex. Alex simply bought a 15-year-old laundromat, threw in some vending machines, and today, he's financially free. The thing is, Daniel didn't fail because he lacked effort. He probably outworked Alex. He failed because he chose a highly competitive, glamorous battlefield. Alex succeeded because he chose a totally unglamorous field with practically zero competition. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one very critical question to chew on. As you look toward building your own wealth, ask yourself, does your next idea pay you once, or is it going to pay you every single month? It might be time to rethink the glamour, embrace the boring, and look for that consistency.